Hey guys, good evening. I titled this Two Major Ingredients for Romantic Love. So, if you want to know my thoughts on what those two major ingredients are for romantic love, tune in to the show. Share this with a friend and let's have the conversation.
She's here to shine a light, meet new people, touching lives, create community.
Your passion set on fire, energy sends you higher.
Dreams are reality.
Just Jaimi.
That song never gets old. I wrote and produced that and had some friends sing on it. What's going on, y'all? Good evening. Say what's up to me if you up in here. What's up, B? Say hi, drop an emoji, say what's up. Let me know you're up in here. So, two major ingredients for romantic love. How did I come up with this, right? So I was talking to my sister one day and she was like, well, gosh, Jaimi, everybody's not perfect. What is it that you're looking for when it comes to love? And I told her, baby girl, let me tell you something. It's real simple. So before I told her, first thing I want to tell you guys, I came up with this for myself because I remember being a teenager and one of my best friend's moms told me, don't tell a man exactly what you're looking for because some men will just pretend to be that and perform that, until they have you, then they switch up on you. So I never forgot that. Like, okay, I'm not going to give men the entire playbook. I want to see who they are first. What's up, Colton? What's going on, y'all? Welcome. So the two things that I came up with that are major ingredients to romantic love are two things that cannot be falsified. You cannot front. You either got it or you don't. You're either about it or you're not. So I feel like these are two pillars for me that, I've come up with. There we go. So the very first one, when it comes to the two major ingredients to romantic love for me, the first one is commitment. So some of you are thinking like, duh, if you're in a relationship, you got to be committed. No, I'm talking about commitment. All of these situationships and all of this stuff going on is going on due to lack of commitment. People aren't sure. They want to test and find out. They're seeing this, seeing that. Then you start to get lackadaisical on your desires, and everybody's just willy-nilly until people just test drive each other and test run each other till the next thing comes or a hard conversation shows up and there was never any commitment. When you are committed to somebody, you're saying yes to them. Commitment is a choice. And for me, what is beautiful about choice and commitment when it comes to romantic relationship is it's a decision. To love somebody and to want to be with them when you don't like them, it's challenging. You're going through a hard season. Life is getting hard. They're getting on your nerves. They're doing something you don't like. There's something about them that you discover, and it's challenging for you guys to figure out how to overcome these things together. This is why commitment, choice, decision is so important in romantic love. If you're not choosing the person you're with, because you're going to have to choose them every day, then there's no stake in the ground. There's no anchor. The second somebody gets on your nerves, you're out. The second something ain't whatever, you're gone. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. I'm just getting started. So that's one of my major pillars to romantic love is commitment. They got to decide. They got to know it's me. The rest we can do because we got to have the second pillar, right? The second major pillar, ingredient to romantic love for me is you got to do the self-work. You got to work on yourself like I work on myself. You can't fake that. You can't pretend to do the work. When, people who are very aware, people who are accountable, people who have no problem growing and healing and doing the hard things will recognize that in someone else. And even if they don't recognize that off the bat, It's only a matter of time before you figure out this person hasn't addressed anything going on in their life, because they, you can only perform for so long. So when you're with somebody who's committed to doing the work on the same level that you're committed to do the work, now we're working with something. Now we have something that is, Colton, what's so funny? Hey, Tamita Joe, what's going on? So yeah, that second major ingredient when it comes to romantic love is finding somebody who does the work just like you do. Because if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't do the work, the second a hard conversation comes up, the second somebody wants to discuss their triggers, perhaps a misalignment in values, some of these harder and important conversations without the first ingredient, choice, the choice and the commitment, the choice, commitment, and decision to be with that person, without these two things working in tandem, you know what I mean? Somebody who's willing to do the work, I don't know where the relationship can go, but with those two things in place, I see endless possibilities. So it's not about how much money he has, what does he drive, how tall he is he a bus driver? All of this stuff that we listen to, we have to be very careful not to get caught up in the fog of it all. Those two things that I was sharing with you are anchors. They are real long-lasting anchors and pillars that will allow you and another person to stand the test of time. Love me when you don't like me. Are you committed to me? Do you choose me? If you know you've chosen me and you're a person who does the self-work, then we can ride all the waves together. People don't have that. This is why things aren't lasting. This is why people think they can ghost people. This is why people make decisions on their own and come to whatever decisions they think they need to in the relationship that work for them without even talking to the other person, doing what they think is comfortable. This is why people are functioning habitually, because there's things they haven't overcome and they have not made a choice to commit to you. Without a commitment, it's just, and some of us are getting to a place where that just doesn't work anymore. Who shows up to anything in life with energy? You got to know something about something when you walk into the room. And the crazy part is most people can, excuse me, they can be bold about it when they're talking about their work, their purpose, their business, getting their money. Everybody's so sure they want to get to the bag. Are you committed to the person that you want to build with? Are you doing the self-work required to overcome the hard obstacles that are natural in romantic relationships? They're natural. We are two grown people who have lived life completely separately without each other for X amount of years, who are now trying to come together and make a unit out of this thing. You think ain't gonna be no waves in the ocean? Do you have the tools to navigate that? Have you even chosen the person that you're dealing with? So that's kind of how I roll. Those are the things that I'm looking for. And I'm able to verbalize those things because you can't fake that funk. You can't fake commitment to me. You can't fake whether you're the type of person to do the work or not. Because the first hiccup in the relationship, the first argument, the first disagreement, the first triggers that come up, the first waves in the ocean, whatever, are going to reveal who you are. Colton, I'm glad to see that you agree. Yes, girl. The nails, I'm having so much fun with the nails. Yes, Demita Joe, the ghosting is crazy. The ghosting is wild. It's like, so wait a minute, we had a whole relationship. We loving on each other. We traveling. We going to places. We meeting family. We're talking. We're doing talking every day. And now we don't hear from each other anymore. No closeout conversation. No, this is how I'm feeling. People can't address things. Like, come on. Get real, people. Like, honestly, But or don't, because some people I've had, people walk out of my life, and I've walked out of people's life. I'm going to give you a conversation and some reasons, and this is how I feel. I'm not doing that to people. But some people, it's like, good, I'm glad you're gone, because you were like, if you can't even tell somebody why you don't want to deal with them, or be honest about your feelings or situations, or be willing to sleep with people, travel with people, and do all of this stuff, and then not properly break things off, like, you do not belong in relationships. Do not be telling people you ready for nothing. Do not, leave people alone, honestly. Or be upfront from the gate. Like, I don't really know where I'm at, but I think you're fun and cute. And then let the other person decide if they want to do fun and cute things. But for the people who want divine love and sacred unions and lasting relationships and family structure, you got to move accordingly. So it's up to each person to vet the other person, at least to a capacity where they're committed to you and they're capable of making that choice day in and day out, and that they do their own self-work, at the very least at the same level you're doing it. Because you guys are going to have to be equally yoked to some capacity to have the conversations required that the rough waters of being in romantic relationship bring. Are you dealing with somebody that can be patient? Are you dealing with somebody that when they're aggravated, but they see you need something, can they put their aggravation to the side just for a little bit to appease the situation until there's clearer air to talk? Are you dealing with someone who, when they're triggered or they're running away or they're having an issue, they know not to blame it on you, but to use their words and communication to share that, hey, this is something I'm aware that I've been struggling with, and I'm seeing it show up here. I'm sorry, but are you willing to work with me on this? Isn't that a turn on? That creates intimacy. That level of vulnerability is sexy. Especially with a lot of men. I feel like men, I was watching King Jay Barnett the other day, and he was like, well, you know what? I might not even want to go into it because that's going to make me want to talk about all this other stuff. But long story short, he was kind of sharing, like, be patient with men. Men didn't grow up with the language for emotion and this and that. And as understanding as I can be, I want men and women to also recognize not all women were either. Just because women are emotional creatures, let's not act like we all came from a time in history where the parents were sitting down and being like, how do you feel? No, it was do what I said. It was go to school, don't ask me no questions. It was speak when you're spoken to. It was we all, not men and women alike. It's not like we were all gifted this vast vocabulary because of our upbringing to express our emotions. It's not just men. Not only that, when men come to realizations like this, and that quote came from a man, that's why I'm saying men, we have enough tools to learn now. Okay, we have therapy. There are coaches, there's mentorship. If you did not grow up with your father, it's time to find, and it's something we all need. You can't expect to, let's say this, for example, if you are innately a great basketball player, you're not going to make it to the NBA without a coach. You can be innately great, but without guidance, without the skill to manage that talent, what scout is coming to look at you? You don't know the business side of things. You ain't on nobody's team. You don't know how to play with anybody. You were never coached. So we got good men and women running around here, but how long are we going to carry the excuse that men don't know we don't have language for emotions? Like, all right, but get some. We're grown now, guys. You know what I mean? And I say that with all love and sensitivity. This is something we're all, we all have to grow into doing. You gotta do the work. There's no other choice. And at this point, men and women are like, if you're one that does the work, they're choosing people that are doing the work. How are you going to be great? How are we going to be Kobe level great? Because you can play some ball? Like, you're great. Your talent is amazing. But without skill, you're not running the ranks. We're not going from boyfriend and girlfriend to husband and wife to parents. And how? There's no training. And I don't really think any of us got it. 80s babies, 90s babies, all this therapy and talking to stuff is new. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there, for discussion and share that, don't let these discussions about, now does income matter? Absolutely. But this is so much less about traditional this and 50-50 and who's doing what and blah. It really is about finding somebody that is actually committed to you, committed, and has the capability and capacity to navigate the rough waters. When somebody can tell me and use their words exactly how they're feeling, and maybe even telling me what I'm doing, it gives me the chance to use my words and let them know, well, this is where I'm at, and I heard what you said, and I'm going to work on that. I'm like this because this happened to me, and I see how this is disturbing you. So let's work on it to get, like, come on. Ghosting, and they don't really understand me, so I can't have conversations, and cheating and not committing. Leave people alone if you're not ready, or let them know from the gate, hey, I'm not really interested in going the distance. But don't assume that you're ready for marriage or ready for a serious relationship if you haven't done the work. It would be a silly assumption at this point. I think that we could all say that, men, women, human alike. Like, look at a lot of these things. We talk so much about marriage and all of these things and what it should look like, and we're talking about everything but the commitment and the emotional capacity to ride the wave. These are the two major ingredients to romantic love. If you have these two things, the rest, who's making what, we can deal with that together. But to just be, out here wilding and going from chick to chick to chick to chick, and come on, So that was really all I wanted to share. Those are the things that I thought were really important. Do you guys have any ingredients that you feel are 100% important as part of the recipe for romantic love? I really feel like those two, for me, those are the major ones. You can't fake those. You can't pretend with that. It allows me to have some discernment in who I'm dealing with and to move accordingly. And I'm learning and doing better, when it comes to this. I'm walking it out and really, paying attention to what I'm seeing and hearing and getting better myself every day. One thing I'm not going to do is skimp on the work. But that's what makes me a trustworthy woman, right? Because I see a lot of chatter. Women don't take accountability, and I don't buy into all that. If I'm in a relationship with somebody, what they can trust about me is that I'm going to put the effort to make sure my side of the street is clean, and that I can communicate about anything. I'm not going to be passive aggressive with you. I'm not going to make you think something else is going on when it's really something else, to try to manipulate somebody into feeling some kind of way. I'm not going to act like I don't have no part in how negative things unfold. That's golden. You can work with that. And when somebody's giving you that and you're committed to them, I think you got a good old fighting chance to something that you can choose day in, day out. Even when it's hard, you have the tools to navigate. You dig? I just wanted to share that today, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. I'm in my PJs. I did quite the skin routine today. I did my Indian clay mask, and I love it because when it dries, it really pulls all the blood to the front of the face. And then I did my I did face oil, then I did a serum, then I did my under eye, and this is what I do every day minus the face mask, the under eye cream, and then a moisturizer. It's giving what it needs to give. All right, y'all. Oh, thank you so much for the love. I see y'all up in here. I appreciate you. If you found value in this message, like it, share it with a friend, forward it somewhere. I think these things are really important. Again, it's too easy to get caught up in all the chatter when really it could be a lot. It's not easy, but it could be simple. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be what it is right now. Let's see. Fitote? Mashiari, I'm so sorry. I hope I'm not messing this up. When we learn to be grateful and content with what's good, we won't ruin a good relationship because we're looking for better. Yes, that is a great point. And this is why one of my main ingredients is commitment. Commitment, fitoti. Oh, nice. Thank you so much for giving me the phonetics. Fitoti. Um, yeah, this is why commitment is so important. When you commit, you're choosing that person. It's not, well, I'm going to commit as long as I'm comfortable. There's something that you see and know enough within yourself to recognize the compatibility in another person that makes you say, you. Without that, what are we even talking about? This is what opens the door for people to be like, oh, this is good, but I'm looking for better. What's better than if you, but it also, it's, again, this is why the second ingredient is being able to do the work and having some emotional intelligence and making sure you're working on yourself, because it is up to you to recognize who the person you want to commit to is. It's not about them being perfect. It's about you. Does this person vibe with what you got going on? That is the best, even on the worst day. So I love that you brought that up. People do ruin good relationships because they're looking for better. I heard a story. It was like the 80-20, right? Like you got 80% at home, but after X amount of years, the 80% starts to feel boring to you. And then you go out and you see somebody with that 20%, the little thing that the person at home just ain't getting or ain't giving you, so you go run after the 20% and lose the 80 and then realize you was just chasing 20%. So now you got less than what you thought you was finna do because you weren't able to overcome and, work with the person and have some patience and do whatever you need to do to overcome situations that you could have took that 80 to 100 with. But people don't do the work. That's why I require somebody who does the work before you meet me. A lot of people are intrigued by my level of self-mastery, and that's all fine and great, but you have to have that too. You got to have it too. You got to have it before me. You can't want to get to the work now that you've met me. This has got to be something that we got to, we all have to be equally yoked, right? Colton, that's a red flag. Like, what? People are just running around lost. Thank you, Pitoti. Yes, Damina Joe, facts. And it's just, yeah. So I think these are more important things to be discussing rather than, not dating a bus driver and what your wife is wearing in public. Ugh, this whole Kiki and her man situation. It's like everybody's doing think pieces on it, and they could have kept all this at home. Now it becomes men are controlling, men want to have power over you. She can do this, he should have that. When really, listen, if it was me and that was my child's father, which I would prefer to be my husband first and foremost, but I know people do things differently. But he could have just been like, babe, when you left the house, I thought that was cute, but like, you looked like you was enjoying Usher a little bit too much. I feel away. And then I could have been like, babe, like, I'm so sorry it made you feel that way. Like, what, it didn't mean anything, this and that. I'm here with you. Would it, make more sense if I did this, or how are you going to feel next time? Like, just have an adult conversation. And he could be like, well, this and that. Everybody share their feelings. Everybody share what the other person needs, because there's nothing wrong with appeasing your partner. Why are you committed to somebody? I'm sorry, if my husband doesn't like that my ass cheeks are out in public, which they wouldn't be because that's not how I roll, but I can honor that. This is somebody I love, care, and committed to, right? We're doing this together now. So all of this, men just want to have power. I mean, I know some people are probably talking about negative people that take that kind of thing to the wrong extreme. But when we're just talking about love and relationship and care for each other, this is a lie. They could have talked about that at home. That would have been real love. That's real commitment. That's real care. I know he brought things to Twitter, but like, I don't know. It really could have been a loving conversation. And there's nothing wrong with that. Babe, I like this. I don't like that. This makes me feel like this. I got a little jealous right here, you know, to see you doing that. And I could just tell you, babe, like there is nothing to be jealous of. I'm a fan of Usher, but I was just playing it up. Like there's nothing. I love you. We're done. Make sure your partner's good. There's nothing wrong with that, but do it behind closed doors. I posted today, private relationship over secret relationship. You know, I've had guys that I date ask me, or I have dated, and if it was headed towards serious, them asking me why I don't post them. No. You know, one of the last guys who was open to posting and, you know, it was a thing on the table. We don't even talk anymore. What am I put you on social media for? What am I? No, we don't even talk anymore. And you want me to invite the World Wide Web into what? So people can look at now, everybody looking at people deleting all the pictures, like, I don't want people in my business. People don't always have your best interests at heart. And not everything is a think piece. Thank you. Oh my goodness. How do y'all feel about that situation? I mean, whatever. It's not like we haven't been talking about it for the past. I've been trying not to say anything about it. It's just so weird. I think too, you know, us as community, we should see how we have so much power, because I saw that CNN picked up the story. I'm like, if we collectively got together and chose the subjects we were going to talk about and then what we're going to sell after it collectively, like who got next? We run this. We're not looking at our power for real. But that's fine. I digress. Anyways, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me this evening. It was fun. Thanks for, you know, being in the chat and sharing. I really appreciate it. I like talking with you guys, not just at you, because then it makes me feel like we're hanging out. Again, if you like this, like it, share it with a friend. If you're not already subscribed to my YouTube, which most of you are, please subscribe. And I'm going to keep it coming. Anytime I think of something that I think you would find value in, I'm going to share. And I thought that that was really important, because the way I talked to my sister, she was like, well, girl, what do you like? Nobody's perfect. And I'm like, look, like, these people aren't committed or doing their work either. Like, commitment is, whew, you got to be committed. You got to choose. Just like you choose every, you know, the other things in your life that you choose. Without that, there's no anchor. And without personal development and self-mastery, there's no growth. One thing I'm noticing a lot as a through line in some of these men, and I'm saying men because that's what I date, because women have it too, but with all of these single parent households that a lot of people came from, I noticed that a lot of men are learning to love the way their mothers, grandmothers, and aunties love. And not necessarily the way they love and the way they love them. But I do think men should re-examine that, because the way a woman loves, like there's a lot of, I feel like I see with a lot of people, they have emotionally abusive mothers, enablers, sometimes emotionally unstable. You know, it's hard for a woman to raise kids by themselves. So there's a lot of stuff that comes with it. But then it's like, if you don't examine that, you grow up and look for argumentative women. You're only appeased by women who are emotionally manipulating you or emotionally unavailable. Then when these women start lying and tripping and this is that, it becomes, well, women are, did it. And it's like, no, she just acts like your mama. You like that. And you've never examined why it's just habitual for you. You have to examine that. You know, a lot of enable, oh, that's my baby, my son, that's my baby, he's my baby, he can, let him do it, let him. Now you done you let your son, let him do it, and this man doesn't know how to have a confrontation without running because you never made him, he's my baby. That's great, mama, but like, he can't withstand the heat of a uncomfortable conversation now because he wasn't raised that way. Mama didn't love him that way. Grandma don't. So again, these are some of the things we need to be looking at before we run out here and try to get married. If you're not examining those things, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. But as you can see, it's not working, right? The math isn't mathing. So just some examples. All right, y'all, it's been 30 minutes, but this was fun. I plan on coming back to you tomorrow. So you know the drill. I will see you in the next video. Peace.